Trinity Lutheran Church, Trinity Lutheran Christian School, any guests we have online, subscribers, etc. Welcome. Thank you for joining us for our morning devotions. I'm Ken Coughlin. In 1 Corinthians 15, verse 17, the Apostle Paul says, "And if Christ has not been raised, your faith is futile," or some translations say your faith is in vain. You are still in your sins. That seems to me like a good verse to kind of reflect upon here, as we are, right now it's Maundy Thursday, we have Good Friday coming, and of course we will be celebrating the resurrection this coming Sunday, on Easter Sunday. Unlike other world religions out there, there's something very, very unique about Christianity. Now, C.S. Lewis said what makes Christianity unique was the fact that it was based upon grace, and I agree with him on that, but there's something else that makes Christianity unique. Christianity, unlike any other world religions, is based upon a historical fact. And Paul does not shy away from that. He says point blank, hey, look, our faith is based on an event. That event is the resurrection of Jesus Christ. If it happened, you've got no excuses. Christianity's true. If it didn't happen, we've got no excuses. Christianity is false. The question is, did it happen? Now, obviously, we Christians all, as a fundamental aspect of our faith, we all believe that this, in fact, is true. But one of the accusations that gets launched at us a lot is that we just have blind faith. We believe something when there is no evidence. And nothing could be further from the truth. When God asks us to have faith, it's kind of the faith that we talk about as far as having faith in someone. Like my son, when he was a toddler, having faith in me, that when he jumped off the stairs, I would catch him. I'd done it countless times before, so it wasn't blind faith. He had reason to trust me, but he could never know for sure that I would catch him the most recent time. But he had faith, he had trust that I would in fact catch him based upon the evidence I'd given him before. It gave him good reason to have that faith. God's no different. He's given us reason, and there's plenty of reason to believe that Jesus did in fact rise from the dead. Now, any of us who actually have a personal relationship with Jesus have the best reason to know that's true, because it's kind of like somebody trying to tell you your best friend doesn't exist. You know your best friend exists. You talk with them every day, okay? I know Jesus exists because I have a relationship with him. But even when we're talking to non-believers who don't have that relationship, God has given us very strong evidence that things like the historical event of the resurrection actually happened. And I'm going to give you quick 6 facts. I'm not going to go on explaining all the background behind them because this is a devotion. But these are 6 facts that are largely agreed upon by almost all historians, whether they're Christians, whether they're not Christians, atheists. These are events that almost all historians agree did in fact occur. Number 1 is Jesus did in fact die, and he died by crucifixion. All right, number 2 is that tomb was in fact empty. There was no body in it after that 3rd day. Number 3, his followers in those years following had a genuine belief that they had in fact seen the resurrected Christ. They weren't lying, okay? They really believed that this is what they were seeing. Number 4, you had this growth of this young Christian church at an alarming rate, very, very quick, in an environment that was not friendly to that, to say the least. Number 5, you have the conversion of Jesus' brother James. James did not believe in Jesus during his lifetime, during Jesus' lifetime, but somehow, some way, after Jesus died, something happened to convince James that he had been wrong, and his brother actually had, in fact, and was, in fact, the Messiah. And number 6, of course, is the conversion of Paul. Paul, formerly named Saul, was a persecutor of the Christian faith. He was actively trying to get out and get Christians arrested and even executed. And yet, for some reason, this man, on the blink of an eye, turned around completely and became one of the strongest proclaimers of Christianity in the early 1st century world. So what we need to do is we need to look at those 6 facts and ask what explains them. If they're all true, how is it possible they're all true? Well, obviously, if Jesus did in fact rise from the dead, then that explains all 6 of those facts. Other theories, like Jesus didn't really die, he just swooned, he was severely injured but didn't really die, that's inconsistent with those facts, obviously. We have a number of other explanations that people try to come up with that they just don't make sense of those facts. And so this is an example of something God has given us, that our faith, while we did not personally witness, we weren't there at the time Jesus rose from the dead, God has given us plenty of good reasons to believe that this is actually true. And it's certainly more than enough that we can exercise that trust. We can exercise that faith in him. So I ask that you remember that going into these Easter celebrations, this Maundy Thursday morning, this Good Friday coming tomorrow, the Easter Sunday, when we will all celebrate that he is risen indeed. Until next week, God bless.